We are Ben and MP, and we've been rebuilding this wrecked schooner. After getting tired of having so much rain coming inside our house, it was about time we got rid of this old fiberglass. And now we're gonna fix it by basically building the biggest surfboard ever. What is gonna happen right now? We are dying to start working on our interior, but unfortunately, every time it rains, we have drip. What? Not yet. We have drops coming from our roof because our old fiberglass has some cracks and some infiltration, and that's about to change right now because I have here behind me some fire that I'm gonna use, and to scrape this we're gonna melt the old fiber because we really don't want to sand it and make a itchy mess. And then after we remove it, we're gonna see the quality of the roof, if we have to change any planks, hopefully not, and then we're gonna put a new one. So this is very exciting. Let's do it. Tá pegando fogo.
So we've tried it with this flamethrower, let's call, and it's just burning the top layer and not really taking off the bottom layer, which is the layer that's actually stuck to the wood. So now he's trying the heat gun over here to see if he can just get some of this loose, because that's the bit that will have to be sanded eventually. But we don't know yet exactly how we're going to do it, but we're going to try and do as much as possible before having to get the sanding machine out and create all that fiberglass dust. So let's play around a bit. Found the best way to do this, and the solution is wedges. Who would have thought? So we've got two wedges that we're jamming under it while we're heating around and hammering them in more and more, so we can kind of lift it up in one piece and it also doesn't make such a mess.
Do you recognize that guy? As we are here working on fiber, we lend him to our neighbor because what he loves working with is wood, not fiber. So yeah, he's there now. We miss him already. Nancy, you're a legend.
Sometimes the slowest way is the best way, because if we rip it off, all this polyester sticks to the wood and the paint comes off. So we want it all to come off in one go, so bit by bit it is. So as I was impatient, I've got to go back to the spatula. Finishing up cleaning all the mess we made with this fiberglass. Don't know what makes more mess, sanding it and there's dust everywhere, or scraping it and there's just shards of fiberglass everywhere. But this is clean. It's nice to see what our roof looks like. It's all very solid and we're very happy with this, and it looks very rustic how it's built in the north of Brazil in Bahia, where this boat comes from. We really like it. We don't know what we're going to do with this yet, but we're definitely going to fiberglass it soon. So tomorrow we're going to try and finish this, We'll probably sand the rest because we tried it today, but the guys working on the other boats didn't enjoy it, and I don't blame them. But tomorrow we'll work through the lunch break, and this should be spotless. No, it should be like clean, and then we'll be itchy. And there's the other hero, the only hero, I'm not a hero, who helped me with this. I love to say I'm excited to start a new day. Jam with fiberglass. Done.
So we are trying to remove this port of the life raft, and now it's gone. It was just glue. So guess it's gonna be the best tool to remove him. Yep, wedges.
Strike!
So after trying to scrape all the fiberglass out, it was not possible. There's still some left. It was very good, but now we have to go to sanding. And sanding, you know, it's all dusty, and fiber dust is so itchy. So I'm gonna be here hidden, and the guys will be fully dressed, working on the sanding machine. They'll be helping each other out, and I'll try to film everything from inside so I don't get itchy, because there's not a third outfit for me. So yeah, I hope you don't get itchy from out there, because there's so much stuff. That was gross. Nah. That was gross.
Oh.
Look at you.
I'm naked under here, so I'm not going any further. No, I'm not. I've got boxer shorts on. Most of this roof has now been sanded. As you can see, there's a little bit here that still has to be done. However, work has started again the next day on the boats next door, so we're going to spare them from all the fiberglass dust. Today is half a day's work, so those guys are going home on the other boats. I'm going home in the afternoon, and we're going to stay and finish sanding all this fiberglass without bothering anyone. So until then, all this old caulking compound is going to be removed, because we want to be able to take the old one out, put some more caulking cotton in where we need to, just so that when we put the new caulking compound in, it doesn't sink down into the boat. So that's what the caulking is going to be for, because we're going to fiberglass this roof anyway. So until the other boats are empty and the shipyard's a bit emptier, we're not going to sand, and this is going to be the job. only a few more things we need to do now before we can actually fiberglass this roof. So you can see it's actually very bare already. Over there they're going to start heating up the top layer of the fiberglass and scraping it off, which is the top 2 layers. And then the last layer is going to be sanded down. Over here there's still lots of little white epoxy putty in the little seams, which I'm going to take off because we're going to start using a black compound on top of this, so the white will be very visible. So I'm going to do that while they're heating that up. When that's done, they're going to start sanding, and hopefully this will be finished as well, and they can start fiberglassing this roof soon. So the roof is now finished. Good work of the 3 of us and a spectator. No, he's come up with loads of the ideas. So this is all clean. Well, clean. It's been sanded. Now we need to manage to make the most of the wind and try and get a lot of it off the boat. But this has been good for now. It's been horrible for now, but it's been good for now. This roof of the superstructure is now completely kind of, all the old caulking compound has been removed, and it's now time to kind of clean it up to get rid of all this kind of rubbish and the old caulking. We're going to re-caulk it with 1 line of caulking, 1 thread, just so that when we put the new caulking compound, it doesn't drip down to inside the boat, and we need a lot less of the caulking compound as well. When that's done, we can sand it all down and start preparing it for fiberglassing. Day visually was a super slow day because all we managed to do is get out all the white compound from the seams, and in all these cracks which were here before, which we're going to fill with brown compound instead of white. And also Nico's already got cracking on the new caulking already, so you can see this little bits of white sticking out over there. So he's just prepared some more caulking balls because they actually come as a big fluff of cotton. You have to separate all the threads. So that's been done. We're going to continue caulking it, then we're going to start filling up the new caulking compounds in different colors, you'll see, and then we can start fiberglassing it. So today I've been next door a lot with the windows because there's big progress going on with that. So Nico's been here doing an amazing job, and I helped out wherever I could. But next day's another day to see how much we can get done over here. caulking's practically done. There's still about 1 meter to go, so we're going to start preparing the next step, which is cleaning the whole superstructure roof and also preparing it with ethanol so we can start applying the compound that we're going to fill the seams with.
The recipe we're going to use is resin with aerosol, which is a silica powder, and also microsphere, which literally means microspheres, and is made of glass. Really small balls of glass. We're going to mix that together also with a bit of tint, a black tint, so it looks darker. And the recipe that we're going to use for that is basically how you build a surfboard with fiberglass, resin, and those powders. So our roof will become a big surfboard and we can go surfing later on our boat. And that's what we're going to start doing now. We first are going to mix the powders, mix it with the resin, and start caulking.
The disadvantage goes very quickly, but it empties quickly.
What is that?
Ethanol. It takes out all the humidity and the grease, oiliness that's left in the seams, so the epoxy can really stick to the wood. It may look like we're rushing very much with this product. And it looks like we've got like a product line going. So Jose David is down there making the product, and he brings it up, spreads it out as much as he can, and then we apply it evenly. So the reason for that is because it's got a very short pot life as it's an epoxy. So the moment it's actually made and mixed together, it literally starts drying. So I think from the moment the components get mixed, it's about 15 minutes, of which 3 or 4 minutes are mixing all the ingredients together and making sure it's the right texture and bringing it up. So I'm expecting him any minute now with another load. So that's going to be applied. But thanks to this whole production line having to do it quickly, it's going so fast. It's not like you have a tube of Sikaflex or caulking compound that's taking forever. So we're liking this process.
So here's a pot that dried out. I just want to show. It's still in a rubbery state. You see? It will get harder than this, but not too hard because it's gonna stay a bit flexible, so you can work a bit with the wood.
So we ended up putting up loads of this tape on the deck where there are holes and little cracks that we would like to fill with a brown compound instead of a black compound. We didn't in the beginning, and I know we're going to regret having to try and remove all the black compound out of the countersunk holes. So this is a little effort, pre-caulking, and it's going to save us so much time. The last caulking has been finished here. Also, all the little countersunk holes have been taped off and everything where there shouldn't be any black compound. So now David is actually downstairs preparing hopefully one of the last batches of the black compound. Oh, this tarp is quite annoying. What, 3 spatulas ready, 4 spatulas ready, maybe even more. So you can really just put it all on in one go so it doesn't dry out because of the short pot life. And when that's done, we can really start making another compound which is as close as a color to this wood as possible, so it can start filling all these little cracks. Now, we were thinking of maybe replacing the wood, but this is a real story of the beginning, the early days of the boat, and we want to just leave it. Hence why we are gonna fiberglass the top and keep it transparent to really show the old wood of Yabá, which we are very proud of, including the masts. And we managed to keep some. But yeah, he's gonna come up now, and then we're gonna finish this roof once and for all. This here looks like a complete mess. So we've got light brown, dark brown, black, wood, mess, and so on. So all this, hopefully, when we sand it all off, of course we're gonna have to fill up a bit more of the holes. We haven't done it all yet because we kept on standing on the only epoxy. So we're gonna sand it all, and hopefully this is going to look amazing and ready to be fiberglassed on top. We've tried to put the tarp on top in case it rains, but we're going to bet on it not raining because this is just too much stickiness. And tomorrow we'll come back, sand it, and see what it's like.
Working with epoxy was something new for us, and it was definitely very messy. But we better get used to it because we still need to add many layers of epoxy on our roof before we can finally fiberglass it. And all this will be coming soon, so stay tuned. But before saying bye, we would like to give a super thanks to the people who have supported us through this new modality, which is the YouTube Super Thanks. So thank you very much, Michael, El Robo, Ivan, Squalogal, John, Lisa, Ghost, Glenn, Na Rua com OpenStreetMap, and Vicky and Steve. Thanks a lot, guys.